Welcome back live from center court at Wimbledon as Jimmy Connors and Pat Cash warm up. Here's a look at how they earned the trip to today's semifinal round. The baseline game of Mats Wilander was the roadblock to Pat Cash's trip to the semis, but the athletic 22-year-old Aussie crashed through most all of the Swedes' defenses. Wilander, in defeat, played well. He forced Cash to cover all corners of center court with his sharp hitting, and on occasion, it was Mats who would survive a difficult point. But Wilander was outpointed in the battle of the net. The key to Cash's success is a solid serve and volley game. Wilander in the far court seldom cracked it. Cash has remarkably quick hands, balance, position at the net, and he frustrated solid drives from Wilander. The 22-year-old Cash is built like a football fullback, but his bull-like rushes aren't his only asset. Cash in the near court has a game that also features finesse. But Wielander's biggest problem was being handcuffed by Cash's made-to-order grass style. Whenever he was given a short ball, his answer was punishing. Literally a pain in the neck. Cash, now on the far side, closes the match in the same manner that won it for him. Serve and volley. Pat Cash, seeded 11th, into his second Wimbledon semifinal, impressively in straight sets. Cash earns a shot today at Jimmy Connors. Connors continued his amazing story against Bobo Živojinovic on Wednesday. The 23-year-old Yugoslav had the aces, 25 of them, but Connors had the ices, cooling off his bigger, slower opponent with a variety of flat-out drives. Connors slashing shots down the line, particularly effective. The veteran on the far side has truly won the British favor. They're cheering his every attempt, roaring with each winner. Živojinovic was left then to his own devices for motivation. He may be the oldest man in the tournament, but his legs don't seem to know it, nor his desire. On the far side, Connors, the second week, has come out like the weather. Sunny, energetic, brilliant. Jimmy Connors was never broken in the match, a rare occasion. Meanwhile, Jimmy's acrobatic return spelled the difference, turning seeming aces by Bobo into Connors' points. The fire is still raging inside this 34-year-old veteran. As the oldest man in the Wimbledon singles championship, Connors has outlasted all but 3 others. In his 16th Wimbledon, he has positioned himself for a possible not-to-be-believed 3rd lawn tennis championship. Jimmy Connors in the semis today against Pat Cash. Well, Bud Collins, as you wrote for the Boston Globe, it was just jumping off your fingertips. I think we were all excited about what happened when Connors beat Turnforce and then came back the next day against Živojinovic, and here he is in the semis.
And he just keeps coming. James Scott Connor, the brash basher, against Marty Davis, the leadoff. Marty, who played for California at Berkeley, then an Englishman. Stephen Shaw, who grabbed a set. Kelly Everton, New Zealander, who played at Arkansas, grabbed a set. And Turnforce grabbed it all until he got to 4-1 in the third, when James made probably the greatest comeback of his career. And as we just saw, Big Bobo banging 25 aces, but it wasn't enough to win a set.
Pat Cash has been even more impressive on his trip to the semis. He sacrificed only 1 set to the 5 men that he has defeated, and they included Marcel Freeman, former UCLA player, the veteran Aussie Paul McNamee. The only man to take a set off Cash was Michael Schoppers of the Netherlands, Guy Forget, the French Davis Cupper in straights, and Mats Wilander out 6-3, 7-5, 6-4. And Cash Well, you could just look at that body, and he reminds you of someone that no matter what sport he might have elected to pursue, he would have been tough at it and quite good. He's a talented athlete.
We saw Jerry Armstrong at the top of the high chair. He's the umpire, and he's also one of the traveling umpires of the Men's International Professional Tennis Council.
Head-to-head, Connors 3-1 over Cash. And their most recent meeting just 3 weeks ago on grass in the Queens tournament, and Cash won that in 2 tough sets. 7-6, 6-4. I mean, Connors beat Cash, excuse me. Connors, the veteran, beat Cash on the grass at Queens 3 weeks ago.
He got to the final in that tournament against Boris Becker. He didn't win, but he won a set, and he was in the chase all the way. So has James Scott Connors made a pact with the devil? I don't know, but he's playing wonderfully.
Mr. Cash to serve. Ready?
Cash, 12 years younger, opens the match. With an ace.
15 love. First service. Love.
McEnroe beat him in straight sets 3 years ago in the semis.
That was the year of the invincible McEnroe. How he took Connors apart in the final.
Yeah, that's served by Cash right on the line.
Love.
And Connors, one of the best in the business in returning serve, has not put a ball in play yet.
He will.
Game Cash.
2 aces and a very strong love service game for Pat Cash to open the semi. Connors said that he's biding his time now in the matches. He's not hurrying along, just starting off like an old car. Well, he didn't even get the ignition switch on in that opening service game by Pat Cash. He said when he was younger, he would go in 5th gear for 5 hours, and he's learned now that he just can't do that anymore, and to take it as it arrives and have fun doing it. And he's provided a lot of fun for the spectators in this fortnight.
Love 15.
Patrick Cash is thinking, I don't want to do anything at the baseline. I want to get up there, up to the net.
Connors will just pick his spots. No hurry to approach.
15 all.
Connors with 105 Grand Prix championships, the oldest Wimbledon semifinalist since Ken Rosewall, the man he beat in the finals in '74. The Aussie was 39, 5 years older than Connors.
Jimmy generally celebrates his birthday during the U.S. Open, and he'll be 35 at Flushing Meadow this year.
13,
About him, Bud, that you have to admire, along with his true grit quality, is that in all these years he's stayed together physically, with the demands of the sport on him, that he's never really had any serious injuries.
He takes care of himself.
Cash won't beat Connors on that baseline. Won his first pro tournament. Pat Cash was trying to decide whether he'd play football or be a sprinter or take up a tennis racket.
Jacksonville, Florida. That was 1972.
So Connors holds. It's 1-all.
In the middle of the line. Oh, okay. So now if you don't see chalk, you're pulling the ball out, huh? See? It was right in the middle of the line. That's what I'm talking about. That was so smack in the middle of the line.
Now, Connors loves this. Cash getting itchy and edgy.
One game off.
After the second game of the match and going after the umpire.
Well, he has a reputation of being a fiery sort, as does Connors for that matter, although the years have mellowed Connors' temperament. Good.
15 love.
The baseline has been relined between matches, but it's ruck back there.
Love.
The constant digging by servers' feet. Jim Thorne, the groundsman, and his crew have done a fine job. They keep patching. They have filler material they put in those holes.
Three aces for Cash, and Connors looking for his first point against Cash's serve. And the court took an extra beating because of all the rain and bad weather of the first week. And when they finally did play, it was soggy and damp and ripped up even more than normally the 2 weeks of Wimbledon. Athletic overhead by Cash. Again, he holds serve at love. .30 in the evening in London. Glad that some of you had a long weekend this Friday off to be with us at Wimbledon.
Oh! 15-all.
Double fault number 1. Connors has been serving very well this week, and in fact did not lose a service game to Zivo Jinovic, breaking the big Yugoslavian twice and winning in straight sets 2 days ago.
30-15.
Patrick Cash from Melbourne with a diamond in his left ear and a haircut. What do you call that? An Afghan hound haircut? Jimmy still with the Prince Valiant, in which he showed up here in 1972.
Ever notice that the guys that don't have hair are the ones who really seem to focus in on it?
That's right. I'm a great student. of hirsuteness.
Well, so far, nothing very dramatic about these first 4 games. Connors a point away from 2-all.
First service.
First chance for James Fortescue Lister at the net.
Great volley by Cash, and the winning answer, the forehand from Connors.
Patrick Cash doesn't like it in the rear and decides that's not a bad return. I'll take advantage of it. And not too bad a volley, but you better cover the backhand, Patrick.
2-all.
Jimmy usually likes to go cross-court on that play. He was trying to go more down the line during the Orlando tournament when we saw him against Christo Fanarensberg, losing that final. Startlingly, how he has risen since the winter days.
Well documented that Connors, with more championships, 105, than any man by far, has not won in 3 years since Tokyo, October '84, when he beat Lendl in the finals. That's 41 tournaments ago. Cash in the minus pool there.
He'll catch up.
Connors with 105. McEnroe with 70. Borg 66, and Lendl fourth, 64.
All-time professional titles.
Cash is the only man of the final 4 in this championship who has not won a major, a Grand Slam.
He lost the final of the Australian this year to Stefan Edberg.
So 10 service points for Cash. He's won all 10.
And if you're wondering what happened to that relic that Jimmy used for most of his championships, the Steely, the old Wilson T2000, finally retired. He used a black no-name for a while, and now he has this glistening white Slazenger.
Love.
Goodness, 5 games. 1 point away from the end of the 5th game, and the returner has won only 2 points. Cash, through 3 service games, serving a no-hitter. Another. No, just wide. Connors misses wide. 3 straight love games for Pat Cash. On serve, 3-2. Patty Connors here to cheer for her husband, although she's quite without animation. She doesn't show her feelings.
It's hard work sitting in that friend's box. It's easier to play the match.
15 love.
A lot of forehand errors for Pat Cash so far. Seven of them off the forehand.
30 love. love.
Here in the 6th game, Cash has already committed 8 unforced errors. Just to put that in perspective, Lendl in 3 hours and 4 sets committed only 11.
First service.
He did play impeccably. In case you just joined us, Ivan Lendl advanced against Stefan Edberg in 4 sets to Sunday's final.
Game Connors.
So Connors with a love game. And that's been the pattern. Neither man even close to challenging the server.
3 games all.
Folks we just focused on there are in standing room. That's a concept that Americans don't really get. But here in center court, there are 1,500 people standing on either side of the court. And they stand for hours. The same goes for soccer games.
And will be true at Wembley Stadium when the Rams play the Broncos
that's
here
right.
on NBC early in August. 3-all.
First service.
And some of those people have slept out here overnight to be early in line to get good positions.
In a row for Cash on serve.
15 love.
Jimmy Connors will just wait back on that baseline. Okay, so the guy's won every service point. Jimmy, through hundreds of matches, knows that his time will come. Poke one here, slap one there, move him around a little bit, and he might have Cash in trouble.
First service.
It happens very suddenly on grass. You just move it along well. Stefan Edberg found that out in the first match. Had a set, 40 love on his serve in set game, and suddenly, bing, a couple of mistakes, and he was out of it.
Love.
Cash, of course, growing up on grass in Australia, very familiar to this surface, and has been a winner at Wimbledon as a junior. 5 years ago, he won the junior championship.
Love.
4 aces for Cash, and even against the harder serving Slobodan Zivojinovic 2 days ago, Connor certainly didn't face anything like this. A run of 15 straight points by the server. It ends at 15 with a very difficult return down the line.
40-15.
So Jimmy is ready, and it was a good serve. But down the line it goes, ending Cash's run of 15.
Later, Vic Braden will give us his special tip on service return. Look at those legs of Cash, and you realize what a powerful man he is. Huge thighs.
Game Cash.
He holds. It's 4-3 in the opening set. We'll return to center court after these words from your local station.
Cash lead.
The sun makes it more difficult in that royal box. That's part of Bud Collins' special feature on that part of center court that we'll be sharing with you hopefully sometime this weekend.
$15 love.
Well, he's going to go into double figures on that forehand soon. The old Hueys, unforced errors.
Tim's cup or champagne. The order of this warm summer day.
30 love.
Nothing resembling a break point.
Skimming his drive over the top of that net.
First serve and volley. And Fortescue Lister got beamed.
Oh, I believe it might have been the ball boy.
Oh, really? Reunite with reuniti.
I guess that
sure, have a family reunited.
You know, we may have come up with a whole new theme for them, and probably won't charge them anything for the whole concept.
Not if I know your agent.
Well, Pat Cash, Jimmy Connors, 4 all in the first.
Love.
With the difficulty both men are having returning serve, but you almost wonder, along with the rough surface of the court, whether or not this late sun and the glare off those bare patches is giving them trouble. Another love game. Cash holding at 5-4 in the first.
Da haben wir seine Frau Patty. Die beiden Kinder sind auch hier. Der Sohn Brett war da und Aubrey mit 2 Jahren. Die Schwester, die ist, glaube ich, noch zu klein, um hier zu sein.
The smash by Cash stops a run of 11 straight points on Connors' serve. So both men having their difficulties. That's only the 4th point in the entire set. We're in the 10th game, won by the returner.
Ball was out. Lines were unsighted. Love 30.
Jerry Armstrong, the umpire, takes over quickly on that, says the linesman was unsighted. I don't know why he should have been unsighted, but Jerry is prompt, and Connors is in a spot.
I think the sun, from certain angles, is really causing everyone some difficulty. 10 minutes before 6 in the evening here. Gone beyond the
15-30.
roof lines of famed center court. And if anything, at this point, it's bothering the player at the royal box end.
The south end. Yeah, that's Cash. Oh, he called it out.
And with it, a double break point for Cash. So this is the first time either player has really had a chance to seize the lead. And for Cash, it's a double set point.
Thank you.
Set to Pat Cash.
.32 minutes.
6 games to 4.
So nothing close to a break. In fact, in all of the first 9 games of the set, the returner at best could get 1 point. But as Bud had indicated, when the dam breaks, it goes quickly. I started winning when I started hating to lose, Pat Cash, and he then admitted that he borrowed that feeling from Jimmy Connors. He opens the second set.
Strange set, uneventful until the end.
Love 15.
First double fault. Erases the double fault with his 5th ace.
15-all.
Now, Cash is the kind of guy, and you can just see from his body language and the way he plays, he almost belongs in a team sport. And in some ways, when he's playing as a member of a team, a la the Davis Cup, he really raises his level of play all the more. He led Australia over Sweden to win the '86 Davis Cup.
30-15.
6 aces. In beating the Swedes 3-2, Cash defeated Edberg and Pernfors in the singles, and then teamed with John Fitzgerald to win the doubles over Edberg and Jarrett. Connor's not into the rhythm of Cash's serve yet. So Pat Cash, winner of the first set, holds to open the second. Pat Cash in 6 service games has allowed only 2 points to Connors, and Connors down a set.
Love 15.
Serves Love won in the second. And yet Cash has only a 60% first serves in. But look at the winners. 14-3 over Connors, even though he's committed many more errors.
Cash has tamed his forehand, and
Love 30.
Jimmy's, which over this long dry spell, as we see that forehand winner from Cash, Jimmy's forehand has been the problem, but he kept it going up until now throughout the tournament.
Painted the line. 15-30.
15-30.
And needs this point. Cash would like to get up there now, but
First service.
Venturing to the net for the first time. It's 30-all.
30-all.
As we told you 3 weeks ago, Connors beating Cash on grass at the Queen's Club 7-6, 6-4.
This is a shot that has been troublesome for Jimmy throughout his drought that began in October of '84. The forehand approach, but not that time. Whoops.
Cash answers with a running forehand of his own.
Deuce.
Now, Jimmy playing serve and volley for the second time, and bad judgment.
Advantage Connors, and we should, as a footnote to this unusual match, a set and 2 games into the second set before we had our first deuce. Approaching, and Connors again nailing the line. It's 1-all. Dick Genberg with Bud Collins. Happy 4th of July weekend, everyone, and we invite you to be with us as part of your holiday, breakfast at Wimbledon. Pull up a seat and have breakfast with us and with all your tennis friends. Tomorrow morning, the women's final from the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club at 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock in the West. Martina Navratilova going for history, 6 in a row against the brilliant young German teenager Steffi Graf. And then, of course, on Sunday, the men's final at 9. Ivan Lendl has already been sent his invitation. He'll be there on Sunday morning to meet the winner of this match. Lendl in 4 over Stefan Edberg earlier today. Down on those volleys, doesn't he?
Yeah.
15 love.
At the net, look at Cash. 32 times up there to 4 for Connors.
Well, this is like old times. The Australians and the Yanks battling at the Big W. Have not countries recently.
Well, 3-4 years ago, they had such extremely high hopes for Cash. He hasn't really lived up to those, but he's still a top player, especially on grass. Connors wide as he took that ball in the air.
Well, Patrick got into the top 10 in 1984. He was a semifinalist here, losing to John McEnroe, a semifinalist at the U.S. Open, barely losing by the closest of margins in the 5th set to Ivan Lendl. He had match point. Lendl won the match, saved that match point on a running topspin lob that hit the baseline. Otherwise, Cash would have been in the final. But he's been known as a big occasion player. You mentioned that one Davis Cup. He also helped the Aussies win the Davis Cup over Sweden by winning the deciding match over Joki Nystrom in 1983. And he shares this distinction with Jimmy Connors. In last year's Davis Cup final against the Swedes, he played Mikael Pernfors in the deciding match, and Pernfors had a 2-sets-to-love lead, and Cash came back, and Australia was enthralled because that Davis Cup is still the top prize in the game of tennis.
Reporter asked him, how would you describe yourself? Cash answered, raw.
He's less raw than he used to be. He was thrown off the Davis Cup team at one time. Oh!
Wide. 40-15.
40-15.
Jimmy keeps it down low, gets the pop-up. What will he do? Soft one. And even though Pat missed it, can he stretch? Pat has really been a touchy subject. Not now, but in those recent years, because Aussie Davis Cup captain Neil Fraser was one of the old school of the Aussies. Didn't like his behavior at all, but he was a winner. So what do you do?
So for the first time in the match, Connors has won 2 points against Cash's serve.
And Jimmy, who returned serve in such exemplary manner, may be finding the groove. That's his first winner off a serve.
.40-30.
Just a little inch is all Jimmy needs to pry the door open.
Cash holds. On serve, 2-1 in the second.
Connors serviert. 15-0 und 1:2 im Zeitpunkt.
15 love.
Ivan Lendl lost the first set to Stefan Edberg and won the next 3 to advance to the finals.
The best rally Cash has played, but he came up empty.
And the longest rally of the entire afternoon, both matches.
Short ball. Jimmy says, of course I'll go in. Cash, it's the fly volley.
Love.
Come fly with me, says Jimmy Connors.
Excellent return.
Cash
Shifting
hitting the
and
ball.
charging.
Yeah, very early.
30-15.
Take the ball right off the grass blades. This grass cut to a 1/4 inch. But it's starting to look like my head, Dick.
Knobby.
Cash like ping pong the way he takes that ball early. Some of those ground strokes of Patrick Cash are like half volleys.
Just out.
Cash is getting into the groundwork better.
30.
Played a smart point.
I think Connors likes this too, don't you, Bud? The fact he's hitting some balls that
Gotta
first set.
hit some
Yeah.
balls. The first set, nothing happened, but Cash won it. Serve very well.
It's 2-all.
Two games all.
Now that hat is you, Collins.
Wonder if he'll sell it.
You need a little more color in the braid. Well, there's a Pat Cash fan, the checkerboard headband.
Edward Heath, former Prime Minister, second row.
Well, our hats off to you, America. Happy birthday, USA.
And front row, Buzzer Hattingham, dark glasses. Princess Michael of Kent putting on her shades. Philippe Chatrier, president of the International Tennis Federation there.
Nearly perfect on his serve, Cash.
Love 15.
Only the second game in which Connors has had love 15 by winning the first Cash serving point.
The other came on a double fault.
fault, yeah.
Love 30.
Speaking of double faults, there's the second, and the first time in the match Connors has had love 30. And this crowd in the Cathedral of Tennis, over 14,000, just waiting for an occasion to explode in behalf of Connors. Good serve.
Jammer in on the knuckles.
15-30.
Cash gets that body frame from his father, who was an outstanding athlete himself, a top player in Australian rules football, now a lawyer.
Jimmy hated to hear the call of fault there.
Oh, that was a good camera angle to show you the reactions of Connors. Had the hole, but hit it long.
This is a critical time here on center court to get adjusted to the shadows. Pretty soon the court will be entirely in shadow, then the ball won't shoot in and out. No worry about playing time. There's at least 3 1/4 hours left on a day like this.
The first break point for Connors.
30-40.
It's true, it is midnight sun country in the summer. People forget how far north London is. It's one of the northernmost European capitals.
Jimmy has waited 55 minutes for a break point. It's like waiting for Godot.
Was too good.
Deuce.
That lunging backhanded block that we've seen so many times from Connors a little short.
Come on, you've got to overrule that. Oh, come on, don't be so gutless.
Ooh, to Jerry Armstrong, the
How
umpire.
overrule that? How much more obvious can it be?
Fred Pennington called the ball wide.
Well, sometimes Cash in this situation tries to overhit the next ball.
Jerry Armstrong being patient with the call of gutless.
Advantage Cash.
Connors requesting a little grass back here, please. Now, in the early rounds, that was Connors' demeanor. He had fun at every possible opportunity. It was half comedy, half tennis. And then, of course, we moved into the second week, and it's become very serious. And it's been more the fight and the grit of Connors that's shown on the outside. Boy, he can sure play at the net. Great volleying by Cash. Back to that serve that he thought hit the line and his reaction.
Oh, come on. Come on, you've got to overrule that. Oh, come on, don't be so gutless. Don't touch overrule.
Now back to live action. And Connors winning the first point of the sixth game. Connors serving it to 3.
Love 15.
The winner on that point, and Connors the winner this, and it's 15-all.
15-all.
That's Jimmy's best hook serve of the day.
I don't know if you can call an umpire in baseball gutless and stay around for the rest of the game or not.
I think you're very close to a shower, but Armstrong took it from Cash. Umpire Jerry Armstrong. He did not warn him.
Whoops. Connors having trouble with his balance after that serve.
15-30.
Cash with a point.
Let's see what happened there. lost his footing.
$15-30.
Jimmy has hooked well 2 successive times from the left court.
All 3 of his service games have been dicey in this set. 30 all in all 3.
A lot of dust where he's serving.
Beautiful. Break point goes with that fine volley.
30-40.
Pat Cash, whose forehands were spraying in the first set, has a good deep one to approach on, and look at him bend the right knee to get down there for his breaker.
Cash surviving a break point against his serve in the last game, and now he has a chance, up a set already, to take the lead here in the second. Just misses with that forehand. It was long. It was at our end of the court, but not long by much.
Connors, the betting favorite with London bookmakers. It's legal here.
What was the line?
You put up 6 to win 5 if you like Jimmy. If you like Cash, you put up 8 to win 13.
Hitting a ball into the netting behind him while Connors hitting the ball while Cash tied his shoes.
Advantage Connors.
Second. Well, tonight on NBC, get to know a real maverick, not a Bud Collins, a man of mystery and a man on a mission. Get to know Stingray, then feel the heat of a hot Miami Vice. After that, the excitement is back on Crime Story. That's all tonight on NBC. Local news, and then at 11:30, our 15-minute Wimbledon update show. We have all the highlights of today's men's semifinal and a look ahead to tomorrow's ladies championship.
Another Australian is a Don Johnson lookalike, Wally Masur, who lost to Paul Anacone, good grass court player. Melbourne Vice, he could do that show.
$15.
Cash currently is 12th in the world on the computer, seeded 11th in this tournament. Connors 7th on the computer and the 7th seed.
Jimmy Connors is one of the finest lobbers ever to play the game. But he doesn't have that touch yet today. And he says, oh, spare me the sight. Spare me the sight.
Well, Cash was camped at the net and was going to just plow it anyway. Boy, isn't it exciting to see a man volley so well. I mean, firm, stiff volleys, and he gets down into them. Point away from 4-3 on serve in the second. Cash the winner, 6-4 in the first. volley. Love game Cash. 4-3 in the second. We'll return to Wimbledon after these words. Lost in 75 to Ashe, 77 and 78 to Borg, and 84 to McEnroe. He's down a set.
Well, you begin to wonder, as we have a reprise, whether all those matches on consecutive days, long matches, haven't gotten to Jimmy Connors. Cash, wonderful form on the smash.
By Cash on the net cord. Love 30.
You'll see more net cords here, and this one doesn't help Connors at all as it comes up, because changing the net posts as they do and not being able to anchor them so firmly in grass as they might in, say, the clay at Roland Garros or the asphalt at Flushing Meadow, the net is a little looser.
You see very few net cords bounce back. Most of them go over the net. Another hole for Connors, low 30.
Cash looks very confident.
And Connors' second double fault presents Cash with a triple break point. And a chance to serve out the set. One breaker gone.
40.
Has the lead 5-3 and will serve for the set. 1987 Wimbledon Championships are being brought to you by AT&T, the right choice. By Michelin. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires. By IBM. And by the Discover Card, the credit card that offers a wide range of financial services.
Thank you.
Connors acted as though he didn't see that ball, but he reacted so late in going back on it. And his defensive lob up there for Cash to put away, and now Cash serving for the set at 5-3. And a two-set lead.
Love 15.
Got at it just right. The wide serve, and that is a demonstration, there haven't been many today, of Jimmy Connors at his best. The returner of serve, the burner of your serve. And Australians watching early in the morning must be delighted. Many of them have never forgiven Jimmy Connors for what he did to old Kenny Rosewall in 1974.
Oh, rare miss at the net by Cash, and that one was sitting right there for him.
Love 30.
Connors with the second ball.
So quickly. The net cord seemed to favor Jimmy Connors, a dribbler. Cash somehow makes the play, but Jimmy's reaction.
What a big point that was. Double break point in the set game for Connors.
Jimmy had to scramble to do this because Cash volleyed so well from trouble. This one bounced off the frame of Cash's racket. Jimmy could have lost the point had his racket touched the net. It wasn't easy, even though all that was required was a bunt.
Chances now for Connors to break back.
Cash's first serve has gone off in this game.
Trying to play a delicate little cross-court shot. And many fans are shouting encouragement to him.
I think it's a Connors crowd, but there are a lot of Cash supporters here.
Living here in London.
A lot of kids with no respect for their elders.
Now, this could be the match for Connors.
Ooh. Cash has missed virtually every first serve in this game. Ooh. Connors breaks back. Cash had the set on his racket, and Connors bashed it away. They're even on serve in the second. James is beginning to pump. Cash, who attacked the first serve, made it a tough point, but the brash basher from Belleville, Illinois, may be living yet.
Boy, whoever gave him that nickname.
Gosh, it must have been bombastic Bostonian.
Second set.
We're live from Wimbledon.
Second set.
Flirting with a double fault there. Connors could see Cash charging. For the most part in this match, when he's caught Cash on the run in, he's been able to pass him. But once the Australian is camped at the net, he usually has come away with a point on his acute volley.
Peerless overhead. Cash on the move. Good deep volley. It stood up, but it was deep, and arranges that.
Took him wide, 30-all. It was in this same game, the first set, the 10th game, on serve, that Cash broke Connors and took the set 6-4. They've exchanged breaks late in the second set. 30-all, 4-5.
Court.
On the sideline. Deuce.
This kid Cash is explosive.
Well, Connors called upon all of his savvy and adroit skill to pull off that winner. Cash had everything covered but that one little hole.
Jimmy's beginning to run a little better, and it may take him a while to loosen up. I wonder, let's see if we can figure this one out. Did Jimmy not expect a return? No, he was ready, but he lost it somehow because his volley sailed way beyond the baseline.
Sun could have been a factor. Again, Cash just 2 points from the set, and Connors comes back with that spinner. Cash's backhand. You'll see when Connors raises up for the serve, that sun right in his eyes. And the double full. His third. And Cash will not have that problem because at the other end there are shadows, and as a right-hander, he has his back to the sun when he comes to the Royal Box end. On the line, hit both lines.
Shepard signaled the ball good on the sideline. And it appears to us, I would think in this replay, that it caught the confluence of the baseline and the sideline.
So the perfect shot by Cash earns him another set point.
How can we see that? You don't see anything.
Well, that's how he's advanced through this championship with incredibly strong volley work. And he has the second set by the same score, 6-4.
And he's coming in. Anticipation and not just
Third set. Cash to serve.
darting, not just slapping the ball, but following through on the volley so that he had a marvelous angle.
So 3 consecutive games, break of service, and Cash, that 10th game has been his lucky number, as he's broken counters in each of the 10th games, and with it the set. And with that, we'll open the third. 1 hour and 26 minutes for the first 2 sets.
And twice Jimmy has failed to take advantage of a free and open and vacant court when Cash has scrambled to retrieve a net court ball.
First service.
Well, under normal conditions, you would say call for the shovel, down 2 sets, 34-year-old Connors, but not after what we saw earlier this week against Pernfors.
Well, that's the same volley with which Patrick Cash won the second set. So, students, pay attention and see how a man gets down to volley.
Nice to have 22-year-old legs.
Tough to get down to tie the shoes sometimes, isn't it?
Really playing well. Cash, his game, serve and volley. He's missed very few chances at the net.
You talk about Americans saying, gosh, we're in trouble. Where are our players? No Australian in the final for 16 years since John Newcomb beat our man Stan Smith. And the Australians at one 25-year stretch won this title 17 times.
Well played by Connors. First he had to handle a bad hop, and then volleying from midcourt.
40-15.
Cash again. Genuflecting so well on the volley, but Connors decides, don't let it bounce, intercept it.
Another ace for Cash. He's up 2 sets. Far end from us in the Royal box, but near end of the cameras. Down 2 sets, and Cash holding to open the third. It is racket.
Nothing going right now for Jimmy. And bar left, Fred Pennington on that sideline. During the change game, Jimmy Connors said to umpire Jerry Armstrong, if the guy can't see, get him off. There was a close call on that volley. Cash hit into the corner in that game, breaking Jimmy Connors' serve.
And at this stage, as it was on Wednesday against Michael Pernfors, Connors finds the opponent totally in control of the match. Connors was down 6-1, 6-1, 4-1 against Pernfors. Now, this is Connors' gamesmanship, playing with the crowd, hoping something will happen here to turn it around. Sets. Matt Cash presented with a triple break point early in the third.
Paddy Connors. It's not any fun right now.
Cash has broken again and leads 2-love in the third.
Well, I can hear a lot of Aussies saying, it's come full circle, mate, because in 1974, 21-year-old Jimmy Connors crushed the sentimental favorite in the final, Kenny Rosewall, who was then 39 and the old guy as Jimmy is now. And the young Aussie is doing the same to Connors. 6-1, 6-1, 6-4 was that 1974 final in which Jimmy Connors won his first Wimbledon.
That's his 8th ace.
And his coach, Ian Barclay, is pleased. Who wouldn't be? No Aussie in the final for 16 years.
First service.
Great story last year. Remember, Dick, when Cash came in as a wild card?
That's right. He just had an appendectomy.
Emergency appendectomy. Got all the way to the quarterfinals.
It's like 17 days after the operation.
He's had many, many health problems, and he said recently, that made me be glad I'm just playing this game. That toned down my temper a lot. He said, I sat out months with a bad back and other injuries. Did he get it?
Yep.
The fly return. Both men stretching to their utmost. Will it bounce twice? No.
Oh, that Cash, he just gets to everything.
Just can't lift it above Patrick Cash.
30-15.
Cash so effective at the net, and he's coming on everything. 53 points out of 75 charges. Haven't seen a player in this entire tournament volley better than Cash today. Unless it was Cash against Wilander.
I'd agree with that, Richard.
Good depth on that volley and smartly struck. Magnificent at the net. Pat Cash leads 3-love.
Inzwischen steht es 3-0, aber ihr seht ja selber. Also es läuft in unserem Sinn. Jetzt wird er wahrscheinlich einen Punkt machen. Oder er hat keinen Breakball gehabt, der Connor, sondern es ist von beide 30 glatt gegangen zum...
It's a different sort of creature he's playing against today. Burnford stayed on the baseline.
Cash gives him not a moment's peace. Oh! I think it was good.
I do too.
That was unusual for Jimmy not to chase that down.
Get to that.
The net is his. Now Cash says, I'm not staying back here. And he is covering the net the way John Newcombe did it as the last Australian champion in 1971.
Oh, Connors hit his best drive, and he was there to stab it back. 3 more break points. And it's in. A magnificent game played by Pat Cash. 2 winning lobs and a tremendous stab volley. And he's 2 games from the finals.
There's just no punch in Jimmy's shots. And although Cash has been giving us attacking tennis, he has used the lob to win 2 points in this game.
And we saw that against Wilander as well. He does have a little finesse. And the pattern has been the same. He's given up only 1 set in the entire championships, and no one has been able to really take it to him on his serve. He has controlled his service games.
He has cured an unruly forehand that was spraying all over the enclosure in the first set.
15 love.
Seguso, who knocked out the #1 seeded team. The Frenchmen, Noah and Forget, played today. And we're going to have time to show some of that to you. Ahmed Zivojevic and Gomez, Bobo and Gogo.
Pair of heavy servers who won the U.S. Open.
9 in the ace column for Cash. He's been an ace. He's absolutely handled everything Connors could throw at him at the net.
Game Cash.
10 aces for Cash. He leads 5-love. And Connors will be serving to take away the bagel in the third.
2 sets to love.
Try to deny Cash.
Thank you.
And if an
A love
American can't be there, Dick, I think everybody loves to see an Aussie back in business.
Hey! 15 love.
Laver and Rosewall and Stolle and Roach, Newcomb. Great Hode. Great Aussie for Wimbledon history. Bell ringing in the background.
Well, whom the bell tolls, well, at least he can smile about it. 78 matches he's won in this championship since 1972.
Good morning.
No man has won more.
His first ace.
Turning point, Dick.
Maybe that bell was the wake-up call.
Love.
Double fault.
30-15.
4 for Connors. And while Connors is able to smile and try to be loose about all this, there's a serious opponent at the other end. 3 points from the finals.
He'd like to have the bagel. He has no sentimentality about Jimmy Connors, just as Jimmy had none for Ken Rosewall in 1974. Why should he?
Quiet, please.
Backhand winner down the line, 40-30.
14-30.
8 minutes past 7 in the early evening in London, and the sun glaring into the royal box.
Jawohl. Jawohl. Weil man kann ja dann vorher schon über den Michel ein bisschen drüber legen, den Ball vorher. Ne? Ich fange an zu reden, wann es soweit ist. Vorteil Connors.
Advantage Connors.
Seht ihr irgendwo, wie lang schon gespielt wird? Zeit, die Uhrzeit. Offensichtlich Einstand wieder. Ja.
Right, please.
49, passt schon. Ja, passt doch. Warte, ich muss mich jetzt konzentrieren. Vorteil Connors für euch. Bin. Der rollt mit der Alte. Ja, danke. So genau brauche ich es gar nicht, wenn es ungefähr das ist. Voll auf der Roh. Da kann man beim falschen Kurs. Es steht 5:1, Roland. 1:51. Alles klar. Gut. Ja, ich warte. Super, da waren wir live drauf. Ui, das wird sich nicht ausgehen. Ach, fix. Lass der Zeit, Bursche, lass der Zeit. Ja, Gott sei Dank zeigt dir das dann auf Knopf her. Aufgerutscht. Oh, nochmal. Wahnsinn. Wie lange ist noch? Super, dann geht es aus. Gib nicht auf, Jimmy, hat im Moment ein Zuschauer gesagt. Aber er hat jetzt gerade gemeint, bei dem Stand wird es jetzt wirklich schon etwas schwierig. Cash serviert auf den Matchgewinn. Er führt mit 5:1 und beide 15. Ja, großartig. Zum zweiten Mal innerhalb kurzer Zeit hat Connors seinen Gegner nicht überrascht mit der Flugrichtung des Balles. Ein paar Bälle zuvor eine unglaubliche Parade von Cash, der zunächst ausgerutscht und hingefallen war, dann nach einem Ball gehechtet war. Ich möchte Ihnen ein bisschen den Mund wässrig machen nach unserer zusammenfassenden Aufzeichnung dann ab 21:45 in FS2. Da zeigen wir Ihnen nämlich alles, was Sie jetzt versäumt haben. So, 15:30. Beide 30. 6-4. 6-4. 5-1. Beide 30. Aus der Sicht des Aufschlägers Patrick Cash, der 22-jährige Australier, steht unmittelbar vor dem Einzug in sein erstes Wimbledon-Finale. Wie viele solcher Höhepunkte sind für einen Jim Connors schon Vergangenheit. Matchball für Patrick Cash nach nicht einmal 2 Stunden. Durch der Blick nochmal ins Lager des Australiers, Trainer Ian Barkley und seine Freundin, mit der in London wohnt.
Thank you.
Patrick Cash hat es geschafft, als der im wahrsten Sinn des Wortes stärkere Spieler in diesem Semifinalmatch gegen Jim Connors. Man hatte mit ungeheurer Spannung diesem Match entgegengesehen. Connors konnte nicht ganz halten, was man sich erwartet hat. Aber die Standing Ovations der 15.000 auf dem Center Court sind verdient. Vergessen Sie nicht, was dieser fast 35-jährige Amerikaner geleistet hat. Würdigen wir aber eine großartige Vorstellung des 22-jährigen Cash, der damit in einem voraussichtlich großen Finale gegen Ivan Lendl steht, das am Sonntag stattfindet, und freuen wir uns schon auf den morgigen Generationen-Endspielkampf der Damen zwischen Steffi Graf und Martina Navratilova. Bis dahin, auf Wiedersehen und auf Wiederhören. Applaus, Burschen, das habt ihr ganz super gemacht. Das war sehr klasse zu arbeiten. Danke euch vielmals, wir hören und sehen uns morgen. Ich gebe übrigens, ist der Roland noch da? Hört ihr mich? Ja, bitte, ich warte. Gut, das war eine Maß. Ja. 18 Schluss, 18 aus.